Cool. All right. Why don't you crack that puppy open
Let's
for
do
us?
it. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, get it open. Yep, get it close. Are we live? And we're live.
And we're live.
Ooh. See, the old generation didn't know what that sound was like, but let me just explain it real quick. That is the sound of a freshly cracked energy drink for the young boy Alfred. And we're about to get into some topics, baby.
Let's do it. Now I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back to the It Just Works podcast. My name is Cameron. I'm a director and owner of Clear Sky. I'm here with Alfred.
My name is Alfred, and I am whoever I want to be. Is that my line? I don't know what to call myself.
It's becoming your line.
It's kind of a meme, but like it's kind of like
okay.
I don't think I'm like 100% about it. That's why it comes off kind of cringy. You know what I mean?
Whatever you are, you just gotta own it.
I know, that's why.
If whatever you are is whatever I want to be, then own it, dude. You know?
Yeah, I need to just take accountability on that.
But anyways, we're going to talk about a lot of cool things that happened this week, including the animation domination, specifically anime, the creator of Yellowstone leaving Paramount. Is it Paramount? I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I should look at my notes.
No, I think it is. Yeah. Yellowstone's on Paramount.
Yes.
Because my parents watch Yellowstone. It's on Paramount.
Perfect. You would know.
Yeah.
Warner Bros. Is selling after having the best year of its life. We have AI tools being introduced to YouTube. And one more. I thought I could do this from memory. Oh, and the exhaustion of biopics. How could I forget?
That one's connected to the anime. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the anime first. Because you are the anime head.
A little bit. Out of the two of us.
Out of us. Yeah, exactly.
There are people that would flame me. If like I said like I'm an anime and I know no, I would get destroyed.
Okay, so I'm not huge into anime, but I do know enough to be dangerous. So I did watch the K-pop Demon Slayers on Netflix.
Yeah, you're relevant.
Oh, so I know what's going on. I'm crunchy. Some would say I'm crunchy roll.
Oh, there you go. Love that.
But give us a little laydown on the scene here.
Yeah. Okay. So what's recently kind of capturing headlines right now is the release of Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man came out with a new film, and it's kind of at this point it's kind of like on brand for most animes to have their season, right? Like a regular TV show would, and you release it usually on Crunchyroll's like the mainstream kind of media source that they get it from, and they'll release a season, and then once they get to the next, they call it like arc, which is like the next continuing storyline. Like after a big ending, they'll switch over to either they'll just go straight into another season, which some have, but bigger box office or bigger selling animes have switched over to creating movies and kind of releasing like an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes movie to continue that story or the next storyline. And it's been really popular lately. Like Demon Slayer's done it, Chainsaw Man just did it, Jujutsu Kaisen has done it. So
Demon Slayer was a TV show before the Netflix movie?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So it was first off, I think they did a season, they did a movie, and then they did 2 more seasons after that, and then they just released their second movie. So it's been going on.
This is the second movie.
Yeah.
And 100%. I'm just now. I thought it was just like an original idea that someone just had. Like, hey, what if we made K-pop people?
I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters, I have no idea about that. I think that is just an original concept that they...
Oh, Demon Hunters and Demon Slayers are completely different.
Completely different.
Oh.
I could see your confusion, though.
So much sense.
Yeah, no, it's different.
I was like... Because you were telling me that the Demon Slayers was like this whole universe, and then the buddy who told me about Demon Hunters, I was like, isn't there a whole universe? And he's like, no, it's just this is the only thing.
That's
so
funny.
There's K-pop Demon Hunters and K-pop Demon Slayers?
No, it's just Demon Slayers.
Just Demon Slayers.
Yeah, the show is called Demon Slayer.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so these movies are taking over Hollywood. I mean, Chainsaw Man just had the biggest box office weekend, and they're going against some big IP names. Like they were going against. They went up against the Springsteen biopic and Colin Hoover adaptation.
Which, I mean, have been pretty popularly. Like, Colleen Hoover's Colleen Hoover, so adaptations of her books have done well previously.
Colin Hoover is just, the woman's number one secret to staying happy for some reason.
I guess so. When all these books are so bad.
I mean, they're just,
like subject matter, like things that happen in the books are like inherently like negative, and I'm just like, why? Like, why do you want this? Or like, why do you idolize this?
I have my opinions, but exactly. the reality is they're popular and women like them.
Yeah.
So a movie coming out about a book, I mean, it's supposed to be a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Chainsaw Man, a rated R anime adaptation, is not supposed to be a slam dunk. And that's what's turning into the slam dunks. I think what I have here is that horror films are accounting for $1.2 billion at the box office this year.
Crazy. That's insane.
And anime is like one of the most consistent money makers. I mean, the K-pop Demon Hunters movie on Netflix is literally Netflix's number one movie ever.
That's actually insane.
Ever. We're talking like everything that you know on Netflix did
less than this movie.
Did significantly less numbers than this movie did.
Yeah.
So I guess let's get into some talking points, right? Okay. Is this a sustainable thing or is it a fad?
I think it's sustainable 100%. And the reason why I think it is sustainable is because in all these other countries, it's already sustainable. That's like their main media source. Like in Japan, where Demon Slayer, all these other animes that have movies in the States, where they come from is Japan, and that's their main media source there. That's like the preferred kind of medium of entertainment. So the fact that it's just transferring over here is like we're just playing catch up. Like they already did it, they're just moving it over here. And because like Japanese culture and Asian culture is just becoming more and more inherently popular in the States, I think that's why it's actually starting to catch up now. And Hollywood is seeing that now.
Yeah, the thing with Japan is that they're like cream de la crop. Yeah. Like their best output when it comes to media is animation.
Yeah.
Like the most talented people work on animation. The most talented artists, their career goals is to have like an animated TV show made. Like they don't take it lightly. It's not like some, bottom level, like only for kids or like cheapy type of thing as it is in the US. Like for Japan, it's freaking it. Like that is the dream goal. That's like the Academy Award winning movie. That's like the Hollywood blockbuster. It's anime.
Yeah.
Right? But in America, it's not. And it's not until lately that we've started to see like real strong commercial success and just like a magnet for very creative people to kind of gravitate towards American produced anime. And when I'm saying American produced anime, I'm talking about like the Spider-Verse movies. I'm talking about this K-pop Demon Hunters because it was produced by the same studio. But what we're seeing is imports from Japan still, and that's crushing here.
Yeah.
So do you think that America is going to pivot and we're going to become like a mirror image to Japan? We're going to start just producing animes, or do you think we're just going to keep importing Japan?
I think we just keep importing. I don't think like...
Well, okay, there's your opinion.
Yeah.
And then there's what actually should happen, or what's actually going to happen.
Yeah. I acknowledge that.
Right? So I'm hearing, I think we should.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think is going to happen?
Because, interesting concept, because, so talk about Chainsaw Man, right? Specifically, Sony partnered with them, right?
Yeah.
Like they're part of that production process, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about Into the Spider-Verse, which is also Sony. But is that American? Is that Japanese? Like where do we draw the line there? And I think it's just going to become more and more integrated. I think all we're going to end up doing realistically we're going to pull animators from Japan, say, hey, we'll pay you better, because like that's a big thing as well. Like not like the pay is bad in Japan for animators. I mean, it might be. I'm not like super tapped in, but like the biggest thing was like, hey, we're being overworked because the demand is so high that
and it's hard too.
Yeah, the demand is so high and it's so crucial that like these animators need to be on 24/7, and they're like unsafe working conditions. They're overworking themselves. They're like exhausted. Like they went on strike at one point, I think. And
AI is going to be somewhat of a interesting conversation when it comes to that too, because I've been seeing. I mean, this was a while ago, but there's actually an anime being produced right now that's supposed to like reduce the amount of work like 50, 60, 70% because they're going to be using AI to sort of like fill in the gaps. So they're doing everything. They're drawing all the characters. They're doing all the stuff. But then they're also doing like motion graphic capture, AI transfer
like
to the
meshing.
character. Yeah. So like because anime is all one frame at a time. Draw. There's no like CG. It's all hand drawn. Everything you see on the screen. That's why you get these super close, isolated shots that go on for 3-4 seconds, or you get a bunch of long takes of people just standing still for like 2-3 minutes and just talking. It's because they're trying to save time and cut corners because they don't want to be drawing just a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you could make the argument that anime is kind of in America already.
100%.
I mean, Invincible is a great example of that. I feel like Invincible is a modern day anime.
Yeah, it's American, I believe.
American anime. Yeah, I think so.
And again, you compare Invincible versus like these Japanese animations, it's like it doesn't touch it. Like once you actually look at Invincible and like think about it from like an animation standpoint, like look at the frames, like okay, what's actually going on here? What's actually moving in this frame? And I'm just like, oh, there's a lot just like that where like there's just lines going across this background making it seem like he's flying, but it's literally just lines moving and nothing's actually happening. So it's just like there's a lot of those frames if you actually take a second and look at it. So again, I think that the turnaround time in America with American work ethic, necessarily with like essentially like labor laws and stuff like that, like the turnaround is too fast.
Yeah, we're not going to adopt anime as rapidly as Japan has. So it's going to be like one of those things where the biggest thing that's going to stand in the way of American anime is going to be the studio's willingness to wait and to put out the money, right? And speaking of studios, let's do a seamless transition over to what's probably the biggest headline of the week, which is the creator of Yellowstone. Let me get his name real quick because I do not know it off the top. The creator of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan. Am I just dumb? Sheridan. Sheridan.
We're gonna
So he ditches Paramount after budget drama and politics, pretty much, because Paramount just sold to Skydance, and Skydance laid off a bunch of executives that he worked with, and were questioning some of his budget decisions for his hit shows. Now, Yellowstone is probably one of the biggest shows on TV right now. And, I mean, he also came out with Tulsa King and Lioness. And I don't watch any of those shows, but I know they're popular. And everyone tells me to watch Yellowstone. And I still refuse to watch Yellowstone. So I wish I watched it because I would probably be more invested in this. But it is an important thing to talk about because he didn't bring Yellowstone with him. He's just peacing out, and they're still going to be making the show without him. So, I mean, let's kick off the conversation there. Like, how do you feel about that?
It makes sense that like when new companies are acquired by new people and there's layoffs and stuff like that, that there's going to be some disagreements or just questioning. So I'm curious to like what this is actually about. Like, is this him being like, oh, they just started questioning me when Paramount before didn't like let me do my thing, and then now I'm out. You know?
No, I mean he said that they laid off executives that he'd work with. So these are friends.
Yeah.
These are people that you build relationships with. You probably have them over for, Christmas parties or birthdays. You probably had them over for dinner a couple times. Like, we forget that, it's a business, but like Hollywood, your favorite directors use the same actors because they're friends.
Yeah.
Your favorite directors use the same DPs because they're friends. You can't go and create content or create a movie or create a TV show with the same people for half the year and then for like years after in the post-production or for years prior in the pre-production and be just like in the trenches with these guys for like so many hours, more than you're spending with your family, and not build like emotional bonds with them. But when you read a headline, you read something like, "Oh, he's just upset because executives got fired." Like, that's not the full story. The full story could be that he just like, "Yo, you fired my friends, and now you're saying that I'm spending too much money. I just made a boatload of money for these guys, like with my shows, And he's like, "Well, you know what? You can have my show, but I'm not going to be here.
Yeah,
I'm going to go somewhere else."
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense.
But like, here's the thing: is it going to bite him Is it going to bite Skydance in the butt? Right? Because, like, the way that I see it, we are in a world where creators have more power than ever. They have platforms. They have influence. People watch content not because it's good, but it's because the person who is putting it out is also good, right?
Yeah.
It's like our creators and our shows are so closely tied together now, and especially with a show that's this big. Like, look at Game of Thrones, same deal. You look at, you even look at like Rick and Morty. There's like always these questions that when Justin left the show, like, would it be still good? And that's like a silly adult cartoon animation show, right? I don't know if fans are gonna really care when he's gone. Like, they're not gonna watch anymore. And now the Skydance just freaking paid a pretty penny for a network where their biggest shows, they just fumbled the bag and lost their creative visionary behind it. Anyways, I feel like creators have a lot of leverage these days.
I agree. I mean, I also want to talk about like the demographic of these shows too. Like, okay, what type of people watch these shows? And in my opinion, it's always like a little bit older, kind of the older generation watching these shows, especially like, Yellowstone, Tulsa King. They're definitely a lot slower of a burn and like not as, like actiony, or at least up front. It's not a lot going on, and it kind of.
Have you seen them?
I've seen like a few episodes of Tulsa King. I've seen a few episodes of Yellowstone. Like my dad, my brother, they all like Yellowstone has a bunch of like like spin-off series as well, and they've watched all of them. And is it 1894, something like that? Like there's a bunch of different shows that are all connected into Yellowstone as well. So, I mean, if we talk about those type of people and like who actually watches it, because again, this is my frame of reference to that. I don't think people are caring about who's actually making them, like you said. So, I mean, only time will tell at the end of the day. But again, talking about like removing people and removing creatives from these big name like shows, I think at the end of the day, there's always going to be the next one. And that's what they're banking on, right? Like they wouldn't acquire Paramount with the idea of like everything riding on one person. So it's like we can't give enough too much leverage to one single person. So it's like, hey, this is what we're about. This is what we're doing here. So hop on or get off.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the next one, but the next one is really hard to get.
True.
Think about how many shows come out and do not do numbers compared to what Yellowstone does.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's diamond in the rough kind of stuff,
I believe.
So if you strike gold and you pay the gold price for that gold, and then you lose the thing that makes the gold shine, you got bad gold on your hands. So I don't know. I'm not super. They better be freaking working hard behind the scenes to make this guy happy to reconsider his decision. But I'm not sure. It might be too late for them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some other studios. Warner Bros is officially up for sale, and
I saw that.
just saying it's Warner Bros. Discovery.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little confusing because there's Warner Bros. And then there's Warner Bros. Discovery. And Discovery is the house that kind of owns all these other sub-brands like HBO Max, Warner Bros. Studios, DC Universe, all those guys, right? Now, they are officially open. Well, actually, I don't even know if they own the DC Universe, but I know if they have HBO,
I think they do.
then they're connected.
Yeah.
Right. So now they are officially open to receiving pitches, offers. Yeah. And this also, a couple months ago, comes in the wake of them saying they're going to split their brand into 2 separate brands. So what it feels like they're doing is they're taking, the stuff that doesn't work in their studio, selling that, and just doubling down on the stuff that is working. And what's funny is that that they, I think the thing that wasn't working for them was their box office. But this year they had a banger of a year. They had Sinners come out, F1, and The Conjuring. So it's like coming at a weird time for them because like, are they just gonna be like, yeah, we still want to get rid of some things and really just hone in on what works if they're having an up year? Like, are they going to take the high price tag, or are they going to be demanding a high price tag for this kind of anomaly of a year? Just a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I guess the big talking point is like, who would be a buyer for them, and what would that do to creative integrity at Warner Bros.?
Yeah, I don't even know who could buy Warner Bros. Like, what company can do that?
Well, you got all the tech companies.
Tech companies
that have just an insane amount of money. So you have Amazon, Apple. They all have streaming services.
Yeah,
which means they could integrate that. You got Disney. You got Netflix. You got some big juggernauts in the streaming industry, and that's what it seems like is happening. Is like streamers are just cannibalizing each other, and pretty soon we're just going to be back to network television, but on the internet. But Warner Bros. Has always been just like
heavy hitter.
Yeah, iconic Hollywood studio.
Yeah.
And if it goes to an Amazon, what's going to happen?
Yeah. I don't know. Weird times. I think Warner Bros. Is definitely, like you said, iconic, kind of old school, iconic old school vibes from Warner Bros. That's always like their kind of thing. And without that, I don't think they really have their own identity. And it makes sense that they're trying to like split off and kind of do their own thing and do what works. But at the end of the day, if you have like an off branch that is technically you, but portioned out to somebody else, is it still really you? Like at that point, they're just going to change the name and then it's just not yours anymore. So,
well, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to sell that. They're not trying to keep the Warner Bros. Name if they sell it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like
Fox went through this too, like a while ago. They sold off a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Fox got pretty much acquired by Disney, like pretty significantly. But to avoid like a monopoly clause, they had to sell other assets to other stations. But they pretty much sold like 80 to 90% of what they had under the Fox umbrella and just kept the news stations, news and network, or news and national TV. So they do national broadcasts of sports games and they do the news. And I'm not sure what else they do, but that's the only things I know what they for sure do. The only reason why I knew that is because I worked at Fox.
Yeah.
And when they were getting acquired, I was like, am I toast? Or
do I have a job?
Yeah. And it's because I was on the national sports broadcasting team. And I was like, no, I'm one of the only departments
that stayed.
And I was just like talking to all my colleagues because not everyone was in the same department. They're like, yeah, we might be done, dude. Like, I might have to be looking for another job. So, anyways, but you don't see Fox paraded under the Disney umbrella anymore. Like, like Disney isn't like labeling the content or the assets that they acquired as Fox assets. Meanwhile, like Fox Fox Sports West was a good example of like a locally broadcast network station that did sports programming. That turned into Bailey Sports. So that was acquired by Bailey Sports, and they just rebranded to their brand. So that's what I think is going to happen with Warner Bros. Whatever they decide to sell, it's just whoever acquires it, it's going to rebrand it to their brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you think like once they purchase all that stuff, like say Disney picks up all that, right? Like at that point, do they just kill it? Do they just buy it to kill it so that somebody else doesn't have it, or do they continue doing it if they're not making money from it? You know what I mean?
Think about it. 21st Century Fox doesn't exist anymore.
True.
Or does it? Because Disney acquired it. So if you go to Disney Plus, you'll see all the 21st Century Fox movies on there.
Yeah.
Because they acquired the content library and they acquired the rights to stream it, essentially. I mean, that's essentially, I think, what people are going to be looking for when they are looking to buy this, is they're trying to buy the rights to all their whole library of content.
Licensing and stuff like that.
So they can store it there.
Yeah.
But then, in addition, even though 21st Century Fox isn't making movies anymore as 21st Century Fox, I strongly believe that 21st Century Fox is now just Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they just rebranded.
So essentially, like, it is kind of just buying it to kill it. So it just doesn't exist anymore because Disney already had their film production and stuff like that. So it's just like integrating. It's like, hey, you come over here and we're all this now. You're this now. This is your name. And this already existed, but we just don't want you we don't want you playing anymore, you know?
Yeah.
That's
It's different. I think it's different in this field than it is in other fields. Like, for instance, when Nikon acquired Red, there's no way they're killing Red.
No.
Because Red is like a really strong brand.
Yeah.
People like Red. And Red fits a specific market that Nikon doesn't fit. But because Disney and Fox overlap so much that there's no reason to keep it around, right?
Like that Nikon and Red was a strategic partnership versus Disney and Fox. It was just like, not a partnership at all, right? That was just them assimilating Fox.
Yeah, like honestly, if a better comparison would be if like Sony acquired Canon, like Canon would be done.
Out.
Yeah, they would just stop making Canons.
They should do that.
They would literally just like make Sonys that kind of look and feel like Canons, and then all the old Canons are just still Canon. You can't change all the old Canons, like they're still Canon.
Yeah,
that's kind of, I think, what's going on with Warner Bros. But it always comes back to this on the podcast: is creative integrity.
Yeah,
is creative integrity going to stay if these tech companies are buying these movies? I mean, I just watched The Fountain of Youth the other day. It's an Apple Plus original. Yeah. Guy Ritchie as a director, which I'm a fan of Guy Ritchie films. Like,
what else has he directed? Hit
or miss. He directs a lot of stuff that like has just like jam packed with action. I don't want to botch any of it, but he did one where it was like based on a true story for World War II. Let me see. He did The Gentleman. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The Covenant. Usually, like all of his movies are like really, really hardcore. And so when I saw
The Covenant, is that the one with that lady?
Oh wait, there's no way. Yeah, okay. He did The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Okay, cool. So what am I? The Fountain.
Just completely
wrong. Did he not direct that? Yeah, Guy Ritchie.
Huh, it just wasn't on there.
It's not on his IMDb.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? Oh, it's a cool movie.
Yeah.
Why is it not on here? Wrath of Man. Gosh, that's a freaking banger. Have you seen that? No. Oh, okay. You got some. you got some homework. Because this is a writer.
Oh, he was a writer on this.
Yeah, but if he's a director,
it's on IMDb.
Yeah. Okay. He was just the director. He wasn't the writer, which makes a lot more sense because I don't think it was. No offense to the writer, I don't think it was really written that well. um, but like it just, I don't know. It just didn't feel like a movie. It felt like
What was it called?
The Fountain of Youth.
Oh, Fountain of Youth.
It had a really cool premise.
Mm-hmm. What's it about?
It's about an art thief looking for the Fountain of Youth. Him and his sister go on this adventure. Father was an archaeologist, kind of Indiana Jones vibe.
Kind of Tomb Raider vibe.
Yeah. And so they're just like going on this journey, but people are trying to stop them, and it's like a whole thing. But man, it was just so predictable. I was just like calling it, and it's just very vanilla. It left you wanting for more, not in a good way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just felt kind of like I didn't put it together until we read this article or we just like started talking about this, but it just felt like stale.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like tech stale, like cold aluminum, like a MacBook pressed against my cheek, you know?
Yeah. It's like calculated, right? And that's what it is. It's calculated. It's technical. It's like this should work, right?
I mean,
That's what
it should work.
It should work. It does not work.
It did not work for me.
Exactly.
It worked for someone else.
Exactly. And maybe in the box office, it might have done well when it released, you know?
But like Guy Ritchie movies just works, like, I feel like they work more often than they don't. Like, they just like, they're gritty, they're real, they're like in there. They're maybe a little bit of revengey, like.
Who produced it? Who produced it? What?
Apple Plus? Apple Plus?
I mean, that, I guess.
So I'm saying that's what I'm trying.
Like, they take shots with Apple Plus movies, so
but,
kind of interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a producer, if it's just distributed by Apple Plus. It felt very much like a popcorn, blockbuster, Apple Plus original type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I think it is a little concerning that these where are we going with this? Right, full circle. It's very concerning that these sort of vintage Hollywood studios that have been known for classics. Are up for sale, and the only people who can afford them are tech giants and big streamers that can afford to take a big goose egg because they have billions of dollars elsewhere in other areas. You know,
I think like playing devil's advocate with this whole idea, right? I think old film studios and productions and stuff like that, like very creative, very like particular, and even like last week when we talked about Ridley Scott's comments and stuff like that. And obviously, again, I have my opinions on older people that are part of like the old generation in film and the way they act and stuff like that, like old Hollywood, right? When you say old Hollywood, you know the type of people that I'm talking about, and like those kind of things. And they're creative people at the end of the day, but like the way they interact with others or the way they like go about certain things is kind of weird and kind of negative in a sense. Or they talk about new gear or new equipment and it's like it's not as good, or the color on these lights are like bad or whatever. And I'm just like, they're LEDs, you know?
You see right now, you see our generation, the younger generation. I like to think I'm in the same generation as you. You see them like longing for old Hollywood though. You see them longing for like storytelling without commercial intent. You see them longing for just like nostalgic, for connected, for human experiences, and just like without the politics, without the complications, just like good heartwarming, just connected stories.
But I think creatives on the other side of that, of like the older generation, they're a dying breed because they put themselves there, because the way they act all the way down to treating a PA on set, because now that gets out. Yeah. Now people are talking about, you just yelled at this PA and went off on them and there's a video and blah, 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 and whatever, right? That happens versus no one, that was normal back then, That's why they're a dying breed, because that they kind of made it so. You know what I mean? And I think it goes all the way back to relevancy to today and why those things, we yearn for that because like we don't have that and everything is stale. But at the end of the day, we don't, justify certain behaviors, you know? And I think, again, that's my opinion of why those old school film guys and all those, you know, kind of that sector of Hollywood is a dying breed, because it's like, hey, this isn't cool. I don't kind of like this. Why do we act like this? And that's the cost of working with that director who's like this badass director and is super creative and makes these original shows. Like, but they yell at the PAs. They're not fun to work with. They're whatever. And that's why, even going back to one of my favorite directors, for some reason, I don't know why, super random. I do know why, but I can explain that later. But is Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith did Tusk. He did back Jay and Silent Bob. All these smaller films, right? Budgets weren't insane. Actors weren't insane. He was in it. He doesn't talk in some of it because he's Silent Bob, all these things. And it's really around just simple stories. And I like those movies, not because they're necessarily great or good, but it's like everything around Kevin Smith that I know, it's like Kevin Smith does, because money and time always scales. That's what he's always said. You're always going to want more money. You're always going to need more time. So take those equations out of it. It's like, I just want to have a good time. Everybody get paid decently, and we make a movie. Like, that's as simple as it goes, And he doesn't need to be the blockbuster. He doesn't need to be like on the headlines and everything like that. And I respect that way more than somebody who's kind of, mean and hard to work with and blah blah blah. But he gets this, all this money at the end of the day, And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. That's why those directors are dying, because who wants to work with that,
Man.
Like we were talking
to say about that.
Yeah, and we talked about even last week. Like, you specifically, you kind of hire on vibe. It's like, are we good fit? Is this a personality that I want to hang out with? And it's like, yes or no, and that's a big thing. And I think, again, that is way more relevant than anybody really talks about, because at the end of the day, like, we're all kind of working and trying to make money, but trying to do it the happiest that we can, And you see people, again, in the tech sphere, they can make money without being happy. And that's why they have all this money. That's why they have the ability to buy all these things and kind of insert themselves in places they don't belong. But again, when the money doesn't come anymore and they don't have that creative, then they're strategic again. They're like, okay, what did I lose? How do I get that back? Go hire this creative, So I think that's the next swing, where it's like, okay, everything's stale. We need to make money. How do we go do that? Look at the painting on the wall, and then go get what I need, And I think that's the next swing.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on so many concepts there. Let me talk about one. Okay. David Fincher.
Okay.
Gangster on set. Like, very scary, like authoritative. 100 takes if we need it. Camera, like, he's like literally saying, "Can we move the ketchup bottle 3 inches to the left?" Like, I saw, I think the BTS featurette on the Social Network never gets old for me. I could watch that 100 times.
2 hours long.
Yeah, it's 2 hours long. And they did that opening scene where they established Mark's character like 100 times. Just a back and forth talking head 100 times. But it was that important because it was the first time you're meeting the main character, right? There was a part where he was just doing literally like Mark Zuckerberg walking down the stairs and outside into the courtyard. And, he did the scene, right? And then he was like, I saw a boom shadow. If I see a boom shadow again, I'm finding someone else to hold the boom. Like, he was like ripping the audio guy because he saw just a little boom shadow. And like, for me, I'd be like, you're not going to notice that. Like, it blends in, like, whatever. Or we could rose coat that out or something, or I'm just going to be nicer about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be like, hey man, we saw the boom there. Could we like position that again? Let's just run it from the top. It's one insignificant scene, not hard to do. He's literally walking downstairs, going out the door. But like, David's just like coming down hard, right? Now, I could see where there's like, that's not going to fly in this day and age. But like, dude, we're talking about, in my opinion, the best director to like come out of like the last generation. Like he is top 5 undoubtedly. Like as far as like the kind of movies he's making, the creative decisions he makes, like the actual art and psychology and everything around filmmaking, David Fincher is a go, right? And I don't think he can be as good as he can be if he's not an absolute authoritative figure, authoritarian on set. Like if he is not ripping the boom op for a shadow in a throwaway scene, like he's not David Fincher. He's not making the movies as good as he had. Like, you know, there it's almost like the Whiplash dilemma where it's you have a desire to be the best drummer in the world, but your coach is an abusive narcissist that's gaslighting you and like destroying holes in you because he truly believes that's how you get greatness, right? And the sad reality, spoiler alert, is that both are true. Is that you have to be insane and you have to be like to the point of like losing your humanity to like achieve a level of greatness that most people aren't able to see, you know? And you know, it's just like one of those weird realities where it's like, do we want to live in a world where we're not going to have these just incredible works of art? But if we do want those incredible works of art, do we have to sacrifice like being a douchebag on set? Or just being hardcore, being so passionate about your vision that everybody, like, they stay up at night making sure that they're not going to mess it up. You know, like, that's where it feels like the balance is. It's like, is that the only way to greatness? Is just an undying, like, obsession to the craft. So much so that everybody on set needs to be on board because they need to fear you. They need to fear you more than they fear God, pretty much. Because that's the way. It's like you are the creator in this ecosystem, if we're going to use an analogy, right?
Yeah.
And like if you do not fall in line, you will be out like that, right? Yeah. That goes all the way down to the PAs. If the PAs aren't doing what they need to do, they are gone, right? I don't operate that way.
Yeah.
I don't take life that seriously. You know, there are more important things in life
To stress about.
to stress about. There are more important things that, like, my salvation is more important than my obsession over my career or my art or anything like that. But I do recognize that the best artists have an obsession that is almost detrimental to their actual life, and we just get the privilege of like enjoying that. And I feel like Hollywood's going to lose that because of this attitude and this mindset that you're pitching. Is it a bad thing? I mean, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not a bad thing. I mean, like you could say there's so many like moral and ethical atrocities in history, and if you look back on it, you think like, man, you know, times were better in this industry when these atrocities were going on. For instance, like a big one is slavery, you know, like when slaves were around, labor was dirt cheap and products were lower price and things were getting produced and people who weren't slaves were benefiting greatly because they could pay next to nothing for whatever's on the shelves, because they're not the slave, you know, like they're not paying for the worker's wage that should be what they're getting, and they're getting more money, you know. But now we're talking about slavery, you know, like it's literally. Like one of the worst things you could do to somebody as a human being, and like is unacceptable. And we decided, you know, justifiably that we abolish that, so that way we can have like a good society. But we're missing out on dirt cheap products. Yeah. And it's kind of like we're kind of in the same dilemma now. Yeah. In the creative space. Yeah. You get rid of these authoritative, like visionary directors. You're gonna potentially squander like unbelievable movies and art. So that's my little rant on what we're sacrificing.
Yeah.
I guess like what we need to decide, honestly, what we need to decide is are the ethical and are people's feelings on set and these kinds of things, are they worth the sacrifice of like having just like incredible masterpieces? That's number one. And number two is, can you get an incredible masterpiece and keep people happy on set? Is that achievable? Right? And I think it is, but I feel like it's way harder.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it's hard to get everybody in line, in sync to the vision.
Yeah.
The more people you add, the more opinions you add, and the more people feel comfortable sharing their opinions, the less it becomes the vision of one crazy artistic person. But then again, you know, I've also, like, there's so many directors and creators out there that think they're David Fincher, and they're just not, you know, and they just, their stuff is booty cheeks,
Yep.
and they just were just a douchebag for, like, years to these people, and the result of it was just crap.
Yeah.
That nobody's gonna watch.
Yeah. And that's the reality of it. That's how it shakes up after the fact, right? Like, yeah, David Fincher, his movies are all good because he was this way, right? And what you're doing there is inherently justifying somebody's personality that is negative or like destructive or like just rougher around the edges. And I get it. Like, you do need to be like, have this level of, you know, integrity to hold and say like, no, you are not going to ruin my movie. You know, I get it. Like, I totally get it, because it's my name on the end of the title screen, right? I get it. But there's a difference between fear and respect, right? Like, directors should have respect from every single person on the crew, because we're here to support you, right?
Yeah.
And the more and more that our industry is becoming scarce, the less it is about respect, the more it is about money. Right? If like going on, like so many creatives now, like smaller creatives or people who are coming up, right? It's all about spec work, right? So it's like, hey, I'm trying to create this spec. If I need X, Y, and Z people, like I don't have a whole lot of budget, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, I'm down. I think I'm working on a spec in November, right? And it was just like, hey, we need a grip. We just need people to help. And I'm just like, I'm down. Like, hey, we don't have a budget. It's like, oh, I like you. I think you're cool. I think what I've seen from your pitch deck, like, I think this is an interesting project that I want to carry on.
Are you actually working on a spec in November? Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
It's for like a brand or something, out in the woods. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen that. So it's like, cool. I want to work for little to no money to help you envision your goal, so that you can see your product come to life properly, right? And that's what it's about. Like, spec work is like inherently what the industry should be, you know, kind of basing off of. It's like, I'm here to support this director. That's what I'm here for. Less about the money. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's I mean, that's a whole. I have some advice for you,
Yes.
young Padawan.
I'm not just doing spec work and free work all the time.
Never do spec work unless you're getting something out of it. Never. That's the number one thing that I've learned is I could like somebody, I could enjoy their work, I could do, you know, I could even for instance, like, believe so much into this one person, but in this day and age, like, your time is so valuable. It is unbelievably valuable, right? And this is something, as a leader, I try to respect as much as possible. I don't want to ever ask somebody to do something for me unless they are getting something out of it. And most of the time, I ask people to do something for me for money, right? You know, if they do not need the job at all, right? I'm probably not going to ask them for financial favors, because like if somebody, I respect that person enough to know that, like, they should be thinking this way, even if they're not. I'm not gonna try to deceive somebody into thinking like, you know, help me out, be good-willed, kind, blah blah blah. Because at the end of the day, it's going to lead to resentment. Like you get asked to do these favors, and they do them, and then they're just like, well, shoot, I'm doing this. What am I getting out of this? And then they're not going to give it their full effort or attention or energy, because literally, like, the exchange is not fair or right.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, it's either A, they're gonna just do it their full energy because they're a good person, but they're not gonna, like, your relationship with them is gonna be tarnished, or B, they're just not gonna show up the way that you need them to show up. If you're like, the one thing that I will do is I just say, hey, like, look, like, I thought of you. If you need the money, if, like, I have something low budget, right?
Yeah.
I thought of you. If you need the money, show up. Let's do it. Like, if your time right now is not as valuable as, or is of equal or lesser value than whatever I'm pitching to you, say yes. If not, say no, right? So for specs, like, that's the hardest thing to pitch, because, like, if I'm doing a spec for a music video, I know for immediately I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do music. I've done music videos and I like music, but that's not what I want to do, right? And this is something I had to learn too. Is like I want to do specs for music videos because I think they'd be fun, but, like, my heart's not in it because it's not something I want to do long term, full time.
Yeah.
So, like if you don't want whatever the vision is, like, if that's not in your long term plans, do not do the spec. Like, if you want to do more brand commercials, if you want to get more experience as a gaffer, like, some people do specs because this is the most common thing, right? People do specs because they're doing cam opping and they want to be a cinematographer. People do specs because they're doing writing jobs or copywriting jobs and they want to be a director. People do specs because they literally aren't in the film industry and they just want to be on set. Like, these are the reasons why people do specs, right? But the people like me who own their own production company, who are already kind of directing stuff, we do specs because we're doing this kind of project and we don't want to do this project anymore, so we want to do this project, right? So it's like our jobs, like the people who are running the specs, to find the people to plug into the spaces so that everybody has career opportunity after the spec is over. It's not like I'm asking somebody who's a DP to be like, hey, come do the spec DP shoot for me, please, for free. And it's like, why? I already do these, like, all the time. Like, maybe they would, because, I mean, unless there's, like, an economy or politics, like I said, where, like, I did them a favor, do me a favor now, or, like, you say, hey, do this favor for me and I'll owe you one. I'll do something for you in the future. There always has to be exchange. So you have to think about that. When deciding on what spec work you want to do, what's that exchange going to be? So that was kind of like a little bit off topic, and we have to wrap this up pretty quick, but we got a couple minutes. Something I wanted to say is, because we were talking about directors, we were talking about abusive verbiage, right? I think what the industry lacks, or what just, like, content lacks in general, is just good leaders, right? And this is something that I'm learning still, is how to be a good leader, how to be a good servant leader, right? And my philosophy is, like, I need to work hard, I need to do the things, I need to show up first, I need to leave last, right? I need to do the things that I expect the people who are working for me to also do. Like, I need to have credibility in their eyes, because if they don't believe in me, then we're done. Like, what's the point, right? That's step one. But then there's step 2 and step 3 that I feel like people lose. And sometimes, like, this is something literally, like, I'm dealing with right now, is managing expectation and being honest and communicative. Right? I don't like hurting people's feelings. Like, I don't like it. Doesn't mean I don't do it. I definitely do it sometimes, especially if I'm, like, getting emotional, or emotional in the sense of, like, angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just like something's not going my way, and it's like, I've told you 7 times. Like, but I don't like it, right? What I do like too is dreaming. I like dreaming about the big picture. I like dreaming about where things could go, right? And lately, I've been running into this situation where I've been dreaming big. I've been getting everyone to buy in on this big dream, but I'm not being honest about where things are going, for the fear of hurting people's feelings or the fear of thinking what would the response be. And without getting into too many details, it's kind of bit me in the butt, And so like when I hear you say like these old directors are dying off because they're being like hardcore on set, like I fear like we're going to swing the pendulum to the other side, because I already feel like myself falling into that, is like we're going to be so cautious and so afraid to be hurting people's feelings that we're going to actually lack communication that is needed. We're going to lack the hard conversations that are needed that need to happen if a PA is messing up. Because if a PA is skirting by for 10 years and why am I not getting upgraded? Like, I want to do these things. I want to do this. And everyone's like, oh, you're doing great. Blah, blah, blah. No one's being honest with them. No one's being communicative. I feel like the thing that we want to remove is emotional anger-based reaction. Yeah. But we have to be super careful not to remove honest communication and truly like great leadership on set. So, I mean, that's kind of like my new frontier, my new direction. Whenever I'm on set, when I'm working with anybody, clients, teammates, it doesn't matter. I want to be very upfront and very openly honest with them every step of the way, and not just a say what they want to hear kind of guy. Yeah. Because ultimately, that's going to be destructive in the end. But anyways, I got to wrap up real quick. Any last thoughts that you want to kind of touch on? I think we forgot to talk about the biopic, but we ran out of time.
Bruce Springsteen, Jeremy Allen White. I don't think majority of people know who Bruce Springsteen is anyway, so that's why I think it flopped. Not because Chainsaw Man.
Wait a minute.
If I'm being honest.
Time out. We'll dive into this really fast.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen, the Jeremy Allen White biopic flopped, right? And I think it's because we've seen like 20 biopics in the last, 5 years, it seems like. Every single year there's a biopic that's vying for best picture and vying for best actor. And don't get me wrong, they're all, I mean, like, these are all great actors, like, really embodying these biopics. But it's just biopics about musicians. There can't be that many inspiring musician stories for us to be interested in them. I mean, just to be a huge musician, it's one thing. Yeah. So I guess there is some cool factor to it, but like, they're all the same. They're all so similar. The path is so similar. Bruce Springsteen, the fact that you said that he's not relevant is crazy to me, because he's so relevant, bro. Just not to you, not to your demographic.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to your demographic.
But who does my demographic represent today,
I think he has a podcast with Obama, dude.
Okay. Who's watching that? But again, demographic of who's watching that?
Obama, dude.
Who watches Obama on a podcast?
I don't know.
People who are like invested into politics. People who are like
older.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. But there's an exhaustion, I think, when it comes to musician-led biopics. And yeah, it's just kind of sad to see, because I feel like there are still stories out there that need to be told about musicians. Yeah. But it's just like not every single one can.
Really quick, going back to like, again, biopics previously, like the Bob Dylan, Timothy Chalamet, right?
Yeah.
I think that did significantly better because Timothy Chalamet played Bob Dylan. Timothy Chalamet is relevant to social media, is relevant to the younger audience in both like cinematic kind of personality and actor celebrity, but also in like meme culture and like all these other things. So that's why it's like, hey, this is relevant to these older people because it's Bob Dylan, but it's also relevant to these kids because it's Timothy Chalamet and they make memes about him, you know?
And the marketing was on point, too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The marketing was on point.
Jeremy Allen White, it's like he's a great actor. I love Jeremy Allen White. But again, it doesn't tap into that younger crowd. Like, I loved him because I love The Bear. That's why I like Jeremy Allen White. I didn't watch him before The Bear, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's relevant to me. But younger kids who don't watch TV shows like that, like, no, then it's not going to be relevant. So I think that's part of it. Yeah. So it's like talking about like opening up the broad spectrum. And I think the younger demographic definitely plays a bigger part than maybe Hollywood wants to admit, you know, because there's just more of them. They're willing to spend money more than these older crowd. They might have more money, but are they on social media? Are they watching the marketing material? Are they doing all these things, you know?
Yeah, but I don't even know if A Great Unknown made its money back.
Yeah, I don't even know. But again, talking about relevancy, right? Like, I think that was way more relevant than this Bruce Springsteen movie.
A Complete Unknown, not Great Unknown. All right. Oh, no, it did.
Checking the stats.
Yeah, it made it back. Pretty good. But that's because it got Academy Award nomination, Timothy Chalamet Best Picture, or Best Actor nomination. Like, and there was a lot of awards.
Like we saw with Anora, the campaign for those like award nominations go way further than you really think. Anora spent way more money on their campaign for, was it the Golden Globe or Emmy or what did they win?
They won Academy Award.
Academy Award.
Yeah.
They spent more money on their campaign to distribute the movie rather than they spent on the movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Again, like we're talking about who is seeing this, who is on social media, who is on the internet more, these older generation or the younger generation. It's the younger generation tenfold. That's what I'm saying. Like they need to cater to them, not to them. That's why I think biopics are dead in the sense of they're like nobody wants to see this anymore. I think they're dead when you stop catering to the younger crowd.
And you know what? This is like a really good point because this is kind of like my marketing angle right now for our business. Like it's not that they're dead. It's not like you can't sell. It's not like you can't sell on social media anymore.
No.
It's just that the competition is way more fierce. It is way harder to capture somebody's attention these days because we're so trained. We're trained on it all. You know, like it's kind of like if you fall for like the scam on the street once, you're never going to fall for it again. Right. But instead of it being a scam, it's just like an ad or it's just like a video that you've already saw. Like it's a viral video hook. It's just funny when like these like corporate companies, they like will do like the the viral video opening that you've seen a million times where it's like a donkey kicking a watermelon or something. Or the one where like the girls like karate chopping the water bottle and they're like fighting the water bottle away. Like it's some like crazy like, oh, what a good idea. It's like, no, I've seen like 100 million videos that do the same concept, you know? So it's like we're just smarter. We're just smarter now, and everyone uses social media, so no one's in the dark. You know, there's something about copying something early on because not a lot of people have seen it. But like, when it comes to these biopics, like, it's just gonna get harder and harder and harder to promote them, to market them, because we are just aware, we're attuned that like, I know exactly what's gonna happen in this movie because I've already seen it 17 times. Because it starts with a person who's just trying to make it as a musician. They catch their big break. They let the fame get to them. The fame destroys them. They have a comeback tour. It's like the freaking same story. The Elton John one. I bet I haven't seen a Complete Unknown, if I'm being honest. But like every single movie about these artists fall in the same scope. It's like, don't know who they are, rise to fame, blow it all, almost lose their life or destroy their, sense of comfort because of this one sin that they can't help themselves with, have a comeback story, big comeback tour. Is that not it? Like,
it's pretty much.
I guarantee you that I would love, you know what? I'm going to watch both those movies.
Compare them.
And I'm just going to take a little photo of every single time that my little story arc happens.
Yep.
and see how many photos I take
That'd
during
be
the movie.
hilarious.
But anyways, we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
That was great. I'm glad we actually talked about that.
Yeah.
Because there was a good amount to talk about.
No, I agree. We didn't even get to everything we wanted to talk about, but I thought that was great.
Yeah. All right. My name's Cameron,
My name's Alfred.
and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.